Hi, this is Karen and Mike from G2M Research, and we are at Flash Memory Summit in Santa Clara, California, doing our new segment, In the Hot Seat. And In the Hot Seat is where we talk about what's hot and what's not in security, in storage, and in pretty much anything high tech. I'm going to kick it to Mike to introduce our victim, guest, whatever you might say. Here we go,
We'll
Mike.
keep it nice. Don't worry.
Okay,
So
all right,
this
we'll
is
see.
Jamon Bowen. Jamon's with Xilinx. And Jamon, how's the show going for you guys so far?
That's going really well. We
Excellent.
announced a new product today. We've got lots of partners that are around on the show floor, and we're being a lot more visible than some of the back-end devices that are using flash and storage systems.
Yeah, no, I think you guys have taken a much bigger kind of purview on this show than you have previously, right? So I mean, that's a good thing.
It's definitely ramping up.
Excellent. So what exactly are you announcing at the show this week? I saw you had a little sample with you.
You saw me add that, but yeah. So we've been focusing very much on increasing the ecosystem of people that can target Xilinx products, because we're very well known within the FPGA world and critical to a lot of the systems around here, kind of as the back end side of it. But one of the areas where people have complained is that it's hard to develop towards a Xilinx product, and you have to be a hardware engineer to do it.
Oh, okay.
So last year we introduced a product line of compute, network, and storage acceleration products called Alveo. And these, instead of just being a chip, they include the entire hardware and also a development environment so that you can think of the FPGA as a custom coprocessor part.
So it's kind of an all-in-one, start to finish kind of thing? Is that the approach?
It has the core FPGA-ness that has the adaptable nature that people bring their own acceleration to it.
Right.
But you don't have to design a DDR controller. You don't have to write a device driver. You don't have to do all of the steps that are required to get that acceleration out.
Right.
So we introduced that product line to great acclaim in October of last year, but we brought it out as a GPU form factor, dual slot, 3/4 length PCIe card.
Very nice.
Lots and lots of compute. So what we're bringing out today is a different form factor. So we had that large GPU form factor, 225 watts. And what we're releasing today is the Alveo U50.
All right.
So it's about an eighth the size, but
Wow.
a ton of horsepower.
Very
And
nice.
it's colorful, and it looks good.
It's
And
got the Xilinx shade of red.
Very
We're quite
good.
proud of it.
I like it.
Very nice.
So this is a PCIe Gen 4 connection.
Wow. Okay.
So that's out available now, and 100 gigs of Ethernet. And this is one of our most powerful processors.
Wow.
This is actually smart. We don't have a lot of people come and, we interview them and they actually bring the real product with them. That was smooth. I mean,
That's
I
exciting.
want to hear more. Let's walk through this again.
So how much power
Yeah.
consumption do you have with this device?
So with the low profile, you have to stay within 75 watts.
Okay.
And the kind of the nature of the FPGA
Right.
is that's the upper limit. You can use less, but it's up to you to do the design.
Okay.
And in addition to that, open canvas that we've got for some of the design parts of it,
Yes.
we are also having a few solutions that will be available on this right away as well.
Very cool. What are there specific vertical industries you're targeting, or you see will be the early adopters for this technology, or?
Absolutely. There's, I guess, the blessing and the curse of Xilinx products is they can kind of do anything.
Yes, exactly.
And that's a big area where we're focused on it. So we have the networking on it.
Yeah.
People use this for high-frequency trading because
Right.
they want the actual logic to be running in the FPGA fabric.
Absolutely.
And you can get into this device and out faster than you can get across the PCIe bus.
Very nice. That's cool.
We also, but since we're at FMS, we can run an NVMe over Fabric design on this as well.
Oh, all right.
So you can put this into a storage enclosure, run a computational storage acceleration IP in
Very
the
nice.
Fabric, and have SSDs that are connected to the other side.
That's very cool.
I can see where that's a problem. You design something that is compatible to a number of uses, and then people don't see any use because you're not marketing specifically to some narrow base. And so how do you get that message out? By going to all sorts of different trade shows and
Well-
conventions, or how do you
It's a mix. Xilinx has is a multi-market company, and we love how we're being used for everything. A lot of what we're doing with the Alveo products is standardizing and having a solution that works. Like one of the things that we're doing at this show, since it's storage focused, and that is a focus for this product, is taking advantage of that Gen 4 capability
Right.
and running like high throughput compression engines is just kind of a standard added.
Nice. Very nice.
So we're trying to focus on like the storage. ML is another area that is, besides a
oh
buzzword,
yes, absolutely.
that we're well
Absolutely.
adapted to, and database analytics. There's a lot of interesting things there.
So what would you say to people that say FPGAs are the wrong way to go, ASICs are the better approach? And and I remember when I started in the industry, it might cost you $1 million to lay out an ASIC and build it, and today it's maybe 100 times that amount.
Sure.
I'm going to guess, right? So
A big part of that trade-off, I mean, it all comes down to what you're trying to do.
right.
We think that there's a general approach towards heterogeneous computing that ASICs and application-specific processors are a big part of.
Right.
FPGAs are a big part of it as well. 'Cause
Yes,
it's a huge
absolutely.
cost to lay out there. And the biggest challenge that you have in a lot of markets are things change.
Yes, exactly.
And anything that you actually do that tape out with the right technology, you kind of need about a 3-year runway.
Yeah.
And like one of the areas in ML in particular, if you designed a processor for a type of ML that was interesting 3 or 4 years ago, you might be a little perturbed at this point.
Getting your
It's changed a lot.
ROI might be
Yeah,
a bit of a challenge, right? So obviously with the FPGA, you can change it on the fly and adapt it to whatever.
Yeah,
you
I
need
mean,
to do, so.
it really has that best of both. I mean, there's always a trade-off, but the spot where we see it is with these cards in particular, we kind of expand the market to
Yeah.
people that wouldn't have really considered an ASIC either. They
Right.
would have just considered writing it differently in software.
Right. That's a very good point. Do you find, are there a lot of objections you have to overcome or hurdles to get people to start thinking about writing RTL for an FPGA versus just writing code, or is that something that people are getting better at?
I mean,
What's your feel on how the market's going that way?
it's basically it depends who we're talking to.
Okay.
We have very powerful compilers that allow you to just write your logic in C
Wow.
Nice.
and synthesize
That's
it.
very cool.
Yeah. So
That's very cool.
if we're talking to someone who's a traditional RTL designer, it can sometimes be a challenge to explain to them that yes, you can do that, but maybe you don't have to.
Okay. All right. Very
Um,
cool.
For traditional software developers, it's really just making them aware that it's possible. 'Cause
Wow.
I don't think they've considered that as an option before.
No, I'm sure you're exactly right on that. So that's very
So what are you looking forward to this week? What do you have coming up? Talks and your
Well,
booth, and tell
so-
us what's going on.
So I've been mainly looking forward to the U50 launch, and now that's behind us. But we have a keynote later today, or excuse me, later this show on Wednesday, where we're going to talk about some of the disaggregation techniques and the way to
Wow.
add compute at different points in your campus board.
very cool.
A big part of this show is computational storage, and Xilinx is powering a lot of those solutions.
Yes.
And we're very excited about that in a general sense.
Excellent.
The other area is this next generation media and these kind of just new architectures people are thinking about. That's the hardware area is changing completely in a way that it just hasn't for a long time. It's been fairly stodgy,
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
and people are rethinking everything. Like how many sockets they need to have. Do you need things located next to it? Is it faster to go outside the box or into it? Should you combine heterogeneous devices? It's a really exciting time.
Very cool.
Definitely. Is there anything that you would like, we haven't asked you, that you'd like to tell us about? What else is going on, or?
We're excited to be here at the show, but I think we've covered a lot of it. I mean,
Are you going to be at any other shows coming up, or are there anything we should be looking for?
the main thing that you may not be aware of is that Xilinx has the Xilinx Developer Conference in October.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, where is that?
That's here in the
Oh,
Bay
here.
Area.
Okay.
All right, nice. Nice.
And that's going to be a fairly big event. We're many years into our next generation architecture called ACAP. So our next generation devices are actually, they're all programmable acceleration platforms.
Great.
There's an area that it's not even an FPGA anymore. It's part of this rethinking architecture.
Right.
That's going to be a major event for us with a lot more of this multi-market, how people are using products, what this future architecture of the data center looks like, that I think will be a very interesting event for people.
Sounds very exciting. Yeah, sounds like that would be very cool to go to.
Great. Thank you. This is really interesting. Like I learned a lot just in this little short time, but I think we're good. We're ready to wrap up.
Well, thank you very much. Really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you.
It's so nice to meet you.
Great to
Thank
meet
you.